Dennis Cox, CTO and founder at BreakingPoint Systems, and today I want to walk you through our new software release, Release 1.5 for the BreakingPoint Elite. We've added lots of little things to make your workflow easier when using a BreakingPoint device and some major features that'll blow you away. Really cool stuff. First thing, we'll go with the main screen here, is you got Take System Snapshot. This is good for if you want to clone a device, you can take a full snapshot of everything that's on your box and put it on another one. We've also added MDNS support, so you can locate your BreakingPoint devices through OS network browsers, so you can just discover them. And once you plug them in, you don't have to worry about configuration and all that jazz. It's kind of nice. Right into the box, the first thing you're going to notice if you head into security is we've totally revamped the way you search for strikes. Having over 4,000 strikes really causes some search capability problems for us. In the past, they were just you had to find them and search them. Now we've added a really cool interface, kind of Google Bing-like. And what you can do is you can sort on all these columns. You can include items or exclude items. You can add them directly here. You can actually look at different strike details. You can see client to server, etc. But what's great about it is I can actually search for things. So let's search for tipping point. Now we found all these tipping point bugs, and most of these haven't been fixed yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And the nice thing about it is I can say smart strike list. And what this does is every time that I add something to a tipping point, or the keyword tipping point is located, it will automatically put them into this category. So if I'm testing strikes and I want the latest strikes for tipping point always, even if I do a strike pack update, it'll put these in there, which is great. Now, if I don't want to do that, if I only want to have a specific set of strikes, only these 6, I can turn off strikes, smart strike list. Now, if I only want to find it for the tipping point web interface, I would just type web and then have it. Now, another thing I can do is I can search for things like Microsoft. And if I don't know how to limit things, I can go, well, exclude HTTP in the search. And it'll add it up there for me, and I can see it. I can also go down here and see the history of what I've entered. It's really cool, very powerful. If I look at strike details, I can see that. I can actually add all these results in here, and it'll add all these to that list, 536 of them. The nice thing about that is I can go through pages, but then I can save this list, which I'll do. I'll save it as Dennis. And now I can do a confined search on a strike list, meaning that I could search for my strike list inside the strikes. So I could say confined search to selected name strike list, and then I can go, I want to search for Active Directory. And it'll only search inside my list for those, which is kind of a nice way of doing it. You of course can see strike list Dennis, and I can search for that as well. So if I wanted to search for different things. I can also search for test results. Show me all the strikes that have failed. Show me all the strikes that have passed, etc. And you have your little help icon here, which brings you up and shows you how to use the strike list for all the keywords. Really powerful, really cool. Definitely take a look at it. We've also changed in the application manager quite a number of things. First thing you'll notice is we now allow you to apply weight according to bandwidth or flows. That way, if you want to bring up the bandwidth of something and you want to figure out the percentage of flows necessary to do that, you can just click this button and switch the whole way we perform weights. On the superflows, we've added tons of client support. This is, of course, is client talking to a specific server. It could be a CIF server, a MySQL server, Microsoft SQL server. It's all what we call one-armed, where we're the client and there's a server. Also, we have complete token substitution, so I want to look for this variable and change it throughout the flows, all that kind of stuff that you'd expect, complex scripting. If I hop into here, you'll see some new actions we've added, including force closed on the client and server, and we've also added fail mode. So if we detect something that's a problem, you can do things like retransmit and retries, things of that nature. On the administration side, before we hop into a test, we'll show you that, we've added also multiple levels of users, administrators and user groups. Users cannot upgrade the box, they can't clean the database or factory revert, but they can use it and run tests. You also notice that we allow you to export and import multiple tests now, not just a single test. So you can grab a whole group of tests from somebody and just import them right into the box, and it works just like you would think it would. Heading into a new test, we'll create one real quick. We've added a bunch of new things. The first thing you're going to notice we added is we've added a warning and an error level. In the past, it was always just errors. Anytime something happened or you misconfigured, it just said error, you can't continue. Now we let you continue even if you do things like oversubscribe bandwidth. Another thing that you notice, and you probably saw already, is that we no longer do numerical time. We actually do it based on hours, minutes, and seconds. You'll see that everywhere in the UI. We've also included on-demand scripts. Now, what an on-demand script is you can set up a test to run, a test script against a DUT to run, and click the button whenever you want the test to run. So there you'll see on-demand right there. And I'm going to head back to my screen. I'm going to run this test, of course, which is oversubscribed. And when I run this test, what will happen is I can actually click this button right here. That will allow me to run on demand that script. You'll also notice an exceptions thing right here. This is a pull up and pull down bar that you can look at. And whenever there's an error or problem that we found on the network, we can't ARP, some other thing, we'll actually tell you about it right then. Like, you've got a lot of failed requests. You sure you want to continue? This is really useful in the client sim mode, but it's also great for debugging. So now you don't have to wait to the end of the report to figure out what went wrong. We also allow you to do on-demand reporting now. You can actually view the report in the middle of a test, which is really cool and valuable. We've also gauged our own processor and memory usage. So now you can tell if we're actually overloaded or you are, in case you set up something that's oversubscribed past the, we go to the warning level. So that's really important too. I think we've got enough data to go look at a test. So I'm going to look at a report without even waiting. Report pops up. Let me make it nicer so that everybody can see it on the screen here. And a couple things you're going to notice is, first things first, I can look at my system controller usage midstream and my memory usage and my disk on my actual test system, my BreakingPoint Elite right here. And I can actually look at the test report while it's actually running. Really neat stuff, really beneficial instead of waiting at the end of the test to look at more detailed stuff. So it's kind of like real-time stats in the report, which is even more powerful. There are a lot of other features, in fact, too many to name in here, especially around the application support. We have over 105 applications now. A large number of those are client sim based, so have fun beating up your servers. Talk to your sales engineer for more details. But take a look, play with the new Superflows and how they work, and definitely check out the strike list editor. Have fun.